Hi. So first of all, I want to ask you one question. What is meat in your own definition? So first of all, according to the Cambridge Dictionary of meat is the flesh of an animal when it is used for food and include red meat, white meat, and seafood. So, what is meat consumption? Meat consumption is related to living standard, diet, livestock production, and consumer price. Meat demand is associated with higher incomes and a shift due to urbanization. To food consumption change the favor increased protein from animal sources in diet, while the global meat industry provide food and a livelihood for billions of people. It also has significant environmental and health consequences for the planet. So this the map of how much meat people eat around the world in 2015. You can see that there are 10 countries capital has the amount of people eating meat from 151 to 200 pounds per capita, and that is the highest number on this map, and it means the number of meat consumption on those countries are very high. And this chart show the meat production worldwide from 2016 to 2018 by each type, but I want to focus on beef and veal. We can notice that every single year the number of meat production increase from 69.1 million metric tons to 69.9 million metric tons to 71.7 million metric tons. Yeah, it's a lot. We can see that the numbers is keep increasing, and it means the meat consumption around the world will keep increase its number too.
The advantage of eating meat. So the first one is eating beef will increase your muscle mass and reduce the marker of inflammation. It's like the disease of skin and muscle of your muscle. Yeah. Second one, it gives you stronger bone because animal protein will improve your bone density and strength. In one study, all people with the highest intake of animal protein will reduce 69% risk of hip fracture. And lastly, it tastes good. That's why you eat meat, right? Because it tastes good, it smells good, and disagree to it or not, we are all somehow grew up with meat. Therefore, we are familiar with the taste of it. So, and meat also allow the diversity in food choice. But don't take this for granted because there are more disadvantages of eating meat than the advantage. So, let Jamie show you that. So, it's your turn, Jamie.
Alright, I'm Jamie. I'm gonna move on to the disadvantage of consuming meat products. So first of all, it will get you a higher risk of getting cancer. So the World Health Organization has declared that processed meat is carcinogen, which increases the chance of getting cancer by 18%. So meat is devoid of fiber and other nutrients that have a protective effect against cancer. So the second risk is diabetes and heart diseases. So meat, dairy products, and eggs all contain high cholesterol and saturated fat, which contribute to heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, and various kinds of cancer. Those are also the American top killer's problem. The US former President Bill Clinton decided to go vegan because of this reason. And additionally, according to a study published by the American Diabetes Association, the people who eat high amounts of animal proteins are 22% more likely to develop diabetes. Moving on to heart risk, which makes it harder to maintain the body weight. So according to this graph, the meat eaters are 3 times more likely to be obese or overweight than vegetarians, and 9 times more likely than the vegans. And moving on to my fourth risk, which is the food diseases from meat. So E. coli or Escherichia coli is a bacterium that's found in human gut and warm-blooded animals. Most of the E. coli strains are harmless, but some, especially the sugar toxin-producing E. coli, which is STEC as an abbreviation of it, can cause severe food poisons. The bacteria is transmitted through human consumption of meat products, contaminated products, raw or undercooked meat products. So these bacterium will be injected into the animals like cow or chicken to make them double the size or gain more weight much faster, but also it will cause a lot of health problems for the consumer who eat those products. Moving on to my last risk, which is it's not very environmental friendly. So considering the fact how the amount of energy has to be consumed to produce the crop and turning them into food for the animals like cow and chickens, those animals will consume the crop and will produce a lot of methane and carbon dioxide through their fart and burp. The process of going from live animal to slaughtering, processing, and turning them to canned or processed products will take a lot of energy and emit more carbon dioxide into the world atmosphere. Moving on to Ben and our challenge to reduce meat.
So yeah, now it's time for meat reducing challenge. So this is the challenge that our group make for ourselves to try to reduce this challenge work. You have to achieve this goal. These 3 goals are the most important goal. So the first one is eat more vegetable to be healthier. Second, influence your family to eat healthy food. And the third one, the most important one, is reduce the amount of meat in your daily meal. Just remind yourself that you have to achieve this goal to make this challenge easier for you. So let's move on. This is the 2 weeks challenge for the meat reducing challenge. Yeah. So the duration is just 2 weeks. But if you want to do more, if you want to continue for all your rest of your life, you can do it. That will be make yourself healthier. Yeah, that's very good for you. So the first one right here. Start to record what you ate in 1 week, in the first week. Like you can take the picture, or you can put your meat on a scale to know how many grams you ate, like 100 grams or 200 grams. So you have to estimate the amount of meat you ate in the first week. And then this is so sad, but if you ate too much, you have to feel bad about yourself because you ate too much meat. Meat is not that it's not really healthy if you consume it a lot. Like, please don't eat that much. So yeah, don't eat a lot of meat, guys. So after feeling bad for your health, the fourth thing you have to do is try to eat less meat and eat more healthy food for the second week. That's how you make yourself better after eating too much meat. You can eat fruit, vegetable, or nut, because you have to reduce the amount of meat. So you can eat this kind of food more. It's very good for you too. And the final one is to celebrate if you success. Yay! Celebrate because you just contribute to save the environment and your health as well. So yeah, that's the Choose Wish challenge. Please reduce your meat consumption, guys. And after this, you can just keep continue or just quit because you love meat, but you please just reduce the amount of meat you eat. Yeah, so that's all. So now, lastly, moving to Hiromi. So yeah, Hiromi, take it.
Thank you, Ben. So throughout the week, our team has been sending out a quick survey to friends and asking about their daily consumptions of meat. A few questions on the food poisoning and how did the student contribute to help reduce the meat consumption. So it's very fascinating to see that the amount consumed annually is pretty high. The expense on meat monthly shows some significant numbers, and some of the students are also aware of the bad effect of meat and were asked if they did anything to change. And very surprising that everyone each has already tried to eat less meat instead of doing nothing in the past. So that's a really good sign. So you may ask, if the meat is that problematic, but I still want to eat meat because I'm familiar with the taste and it's fine eating it for me, what should I do? Well, yes, the sensation of meat and some benefits of it are undeniable, and however, you can always make a little change to the globe with your diet. So, firstly, you don't have to go vegan. Yes, you heard it. Veganism is not the only path to save the world. In fact, there are a lot of different types of diet exist that you may not know. For example, you can change your diet to lacto-ovo vegetarians. If you can't resist egg or dairy products like cheese and milk or egg, you can go for these options. You can go for a semi-vegetarian if you feel like you don't want to eat meat, but you still want to eat fish and chicken. Because in fact, fish and chickens are less harmful to the environment than red meat. Though it still has some bad effects, it's better than red meat. And reduce or control your meat consumption. So if you feel like you really cannot eliminate meat 100%, try to reduce your consumption. For instance, our group also did the same for our challenge. There are still days where we can't really resist and bump into eating meat, but we try to do it less and try to eat chicken or fish or other seafood. And reducing it's always better than doing nothing. So you can actually make a monthly schedule or schedule your meal so that you can only have meat on 1 to 2 days a week, and that helps a lot. Come up with better diet schedule. So it's weird making plans for your diet, but it's very important and helpful. You can plan to only have a few cheat day for meat in a month or a week, and also balance out your diet with eggs if you feel like you're not eating meat and having enough protein, and increase your vegetable consumption to help keep your health healthy. And lastly, a very interesting thing that I've learned throughout the challenge is that it doesn't always have to be meat. And in fact, try for an alternative. Try out new recipe. If you like a certain food that is cooked with meat, try to go and search for an alternative ingredients to make the meal with similar taste but doesn't contain meat that harmful to the environment and your health. This also gives you some time, some self-care time. Play around with different ingredients and recipe, and also help you learn new cooking skill. Like for example, in here we have vegan burger. We also have vegan barbecue and a lot of cheap and option for vegan meal for students. So that's it for our multimedia presentation.
Thank you for listening.